with Embody Healthy here. I'm with Jan and Mark, who recently, and their cat evidently, they recently purchased an Avacen, and just in our conversations, we've discussed how it's really helped them, and I thought it would be great to get them on video and hear straight from them. So Jan, how long ago did y'all get the Avacen?
Oh, it's just been a couple of weeks. Yeah.
Tell me what you've noticed. What did you notice like the first time you used it and subsequent times?
Well, I was in a head-on collision many years ago. And they say that as you get older, places you've been injured will turn into arthritis and other nagging, painful, annoying things. So I've been kind of dealing with lower back pain for many years. So the first thing I noticed when I used the Avacen was that began to reduce that pain. I never had excruciating, terrible pain, just constant, uncomfortable, it's there kind of pain. And that in the very first session just eased that. But then because of COVID, we've been taking our temperature and checking our blood oxygen levels and our pulses and all those things. We've been doing it for 2 years. So,
Nice.
So we still do that. So when I did that, my temperature was normal. But I noticed that my blood oxygen was greatly increased back into the normal.
What was the original
range.
number? Did you say it was, I thought you said it was like in the,
It was in the 90s.
Initially,
Yeah.
when you first did it though, before
I
doing
was in the
Avacen.
60s.
Okay, and then after you did the Avacen, it brought you all the way up to the 90s.
Yes, it did.
And you've stayed there ever since, right?
I have. Yeah, and I don't have to use the Avacen every day. It holds, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So the other thing is that my pulse rate was very low. And I've always been kind of a low blood pressure person anyway, but it brought my pulse rate up into the 60 to 100 range where it's supposed to be. I was below that before I used the Avacen.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. And then the funny little thing, and I know it sounds kind of crazy, but I'm really conscious of my feet on the ground. I just feel stable and solid and grounded, I guess. So
That's awesome.
yeah, I'm sold. I love it.
I'm so glad. That's so great. And how about you, Mark? What's your experience been?
Well, I've had multiple injuries over my life, some self-induced and others from other reasons, but I also noticed a significant reduction in pain. And the other thing is I don't seem to feel as susceptible to the cold weather as I did before.
Okay. So like your cold tolerance has increased. Is that what you mean?
Yes, I guess that's the best way to put it. Yes. And I feel less restriction of movement, like in my hands. My dexterity is improved, and things like that. So it's definitely a positive experience without question.
Very good.
Well worth the investment.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I guess increasing microcirculation, it makes sense that you would have more mobility and less, less pain and more awareness even of the areas. So, well, I'm so glad it's helping you guys. Anything else you want to add?
Yeah, the little thing that I noticed is that, we're still working. So I hit that slump in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Usually I'm headed for another cup of coffee. But if I get on the Avacen just to kind of take a break and get back in gear, it sort of perks me up. So I don't know if that's because the blood's flowing better or flowing faster or whatever that's doing to my blood, but it does. It just kind of wakes me up again. So that's kind of cool too.
That is super cool. And what about your sleep? Have you noticed anything there? Because now that you mentioned that aspect, not having that cup of coffee in the middle of the day, I would just kind of naturally wonder if your sleep is improved from that, or maybe just the relaxation aspect.
I think the relaxation aspect is good. I've never had a problem with sleeping. But I am sleeping a little longer now, and I think that's probably a good thing.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
absolutely.
I'm not waking up at 3 in the morning all the time, so that part's good.
Nice.
We had friends stay with us earlier this week, and he has a nagging back issue that he's had for decades.
Hmm.
And he used it and instantly felt relief from the back issues.
Mhm.
That's wonderful. I'm so glad to hear that.
So I'm gonna take it, we're going down to Rocky Point. You don't have to leave this in the video, but we're going down to Rocky Point, and my friend Susan, she lives down there, but she has rheumatoid arthritis, and
Mm.
she's a retired RN. So I'm gonna take the Avacen and get her feedback on that as well.
Oh, that's a great idea. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
when you find something that works, you just definitely want to share it with
for
people that you
sure.
know that'll benefit. So
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for taking the time to share your experience with the Avacen.
You're
Happy to
most
do it.
welcome and happy to do it.
Happy to do it. I hope it encourages others to use an Avacen themselves.
For sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too. All right.